The Toronto Blue Jays never trailed in taking down the Yankees, but the Tigers and the Dodgers dropped their matchups. Let's talk about it.
When that final out is made, you know it's time for Locked On MLB Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. Prepare to experience game day reactions like never before. Only on Locked On MLB Game Night. Your team every day.
Yes, welcome on in to MLB Game Night, where we cover every single game, every single night, as only the Locked On Podcast Network can do it. I'm your host, Lindsey Crosby, host of the Locked On Braves Postcast over on Locked On Sports Atlanta. Follow me on social media at Crosby Baseball. He is Steve Lennox, host of the Locked On Red Sox Postcast. Follow him on the X at Lennox on Baseball. Steve, a lot of stuff to get to today. The Mets held off Cincinnati, but a little close. The Brewers beat the Bucks. We saw a battle in Texas that went to 12 innings. But before we do all of that, today's episode is brought to you by our friends at 5 Hour Energy. Enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for two to any golf tournament that's not the Masters in the U.S. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. I want to start off in the Bronx, Blue Jays at Yankees. We've got Jay Berman here to kind of break this one down from the Yankees perspective because they got beat pretty soundly. Jay scored 3 in the first, never trailed in the 7-1 victory. Here's Jay from the Locked On Yankees postcast about how this one went for them.
Here, the Yankees lose to the Blue Jays again. This wasn't close. 7-1 the final score Friday night. The Yanks now trail the division-leading Blue Jays by 4 games. Giancarlo Stanton did hit a home run, his 19th of the season, the 448th of his career. However, it was the only run the Yanks scored. They managed just 4 hits. Stanton had 2 of them. Cam Schlittler, an inning and 2/3, throws 66 pitches and, again, can't get out of the second. Meanwhile, Kevin Gausman, 8 innings, 1 earned to earn the victory. And, again, the Blue Jays now lead the Yankees by 4 full games in the division. Meanwhile, Ryan Yarbrough, 5 1/3 to save the bullpen. He allowed just 1 run. Again, 7-1, the final score.
The Kevin Gausman thing feels kind of like a big deal to me because the thing with this pitching staff is it doesn't really feel like they have that slam dunk, no doubt #1 postseason starter. But when Kevin Gausman pitches like this, it's a pretty good way to start a series in October.
Yeah, I've always liked him throughout his career. I mean, you're talking about a legit major league veteran pitcher at this point in time. He's seen the Yankees. The Yankees have seen him. He's seen the Red Sox. They've got the book on him as well. But he's capable of doing exactly that. And I think he's capable, Lindsey, of doing it in October. And if he can, during a short playoff series, best 2 out of 3 or best 3 out of 5, that's going to be a big, big lift for him. Jay mentioned Yarbrough saving the bullpen. He really gave a shot to the bullpen by going 8 innings. You need that from your legit ace every 3rd or 4th outings, or otherwise you get the bullpens that are just absolutely gassed at this point.
Cleveland last year in the postseason, that they were absolutely gassed. Flip side here, you look at the Yankees. He mentioned Cam Schlitter takes 66 pitches to pick up 5 outs. When you look at the post All-Star break ERA for this rotation, Carlos Rodon, Will Warren are in the 3s. Max Fried's in the upper 4s. They're like Luis Gil is in the, back into 3s. Feels like they really need a starter to either reestablish themselves, Fried or Rodon, or they need somebody to step up and emerge and say, hey, I'll be that guy. If you make the postseason, I'll take the ball for game 1.
Yes. And who that guy is TBA. Everyone, or TBD, I should say. Everyone, Schlittler, look on the other side of town. The Mets, look at the Red Sox. They threw Tolle on Friday night. A lot of these teams right now going with young pitchers, hoping that they can get them to the end of the season treading water or having their heads above water so they can go into the postseason. And maybe some of these young guys, Schlittler might be a real option for the Yankees out of the pen. But you mentioned it's Fried, Rodon. I think and then probably Gil. Those guys, if the Yankees are going anywhere, it's going to be on them, the big price tag guys.
And they got to just clean things up a little bit in the second half. Special shout out to Vlad Guerrero and Bo Bichette combined for 7 hits, double for Bichette, homer for Guerrero. So just big offensive performances there for Toronto. All right, Phillies at Marlins. First game of a 3-game series. Phillies just rack up 9 runs on 16 hits, win this one 9-3. In the season series, Philly is now up 6-2 on Miami. Here is frequent flyer of the show, Connor Thomas from Locked On Phillies, all about the victory.
The Phillies take down the Marlins 9-3 behind a strong effort at the dish from the outfield and really the whole team. I'm Connor Thomas, your host of Locked On Phillies. And man, what a game to start the series off in Miami. Harrison Bader goes deep. Max Kepler goes deep. Brandon Marsh goes deep. The whole starting outfield for the Philadelphia Phillies took the Marlins pitching staff yard. And we got to give more credit to Rob Thompson for putting together just an immaculate outfield rotation. I don't know if this is the answer for October. We're not going to know till we get there. But he has had it working since the All-Star break, and that's not easy to do. He deserves some credit. So does Christopher Sanchez, who had a strong start on the mound. Now, I know you might say, oh, it's the Marlins. Kyle Stowers is out right now, their best player, and they're not a great team. I get it, but still, when you see a guy go out there and dominate, you tip your cap. And the Phillies had a nice, easy win. Trey Turner, a 4-hit night. It was just a good night at the park down there in South Florida for the boys. We'll talk more on the next episode of Locked On Phillies.
They had 4 home runs. Kyle Schwarber did not have one of them. He had 2 singles.
Yeah.
He has not hit a homer like in the 7 games they've played since he hit 4 against my Atlanta Braves. No one hits 4 home runs against the Atlanta Braves and has a good week after that. Eugenio Suarez is struggling he's struggling right now for the Mariners, and he hit 4 against Atlanta earlier this year too. Whatever you do, don't hit 4 homers against the Braves.
But you know what? Over the next 5 days, we could talk about Schwarber hitting 5. He's just one of those guys. He hits 1, he's probably going to hit 3 or 4 in a 20-25 at bat span.
There you go. So zero concern. Zero.
All
right. Yeah. Right. White Sox in Detroit to take on the Tigers. They actually knock off the first place Tigers 7-5. They went from a 5-game losing streak to a 6-game winning streak, while the Tigers are 3-8 over their last 11. We've got Todd Welter from Locked On White Sox, all about the victory.
The White Sox keep winning, and Colson Montgomery keeps hitting home runs. Hello, I'm Todd Welter, host of Locked On White Sox. And the White Sox extend their winning streak to 6 games with a 7-5 victory over the Tigers. Montgomery's been in the majors for just 2 months, and he's already hit 18 home runs after he crushed a 2-run blast in the 7th that helped ensure Chicago would keep its win streak going. And it's getting hard to find the correct words to properly describe just how impressive Montgomery has been since getting called up in July. He's played in 51 games, and he's already tied for 2nd on the team in home runs. Montgomery also drove in 2 more runs in this game, and I'll have more on Monday's episode of Locked On White Sox.
Real quick, what's more concerning for the Tigers? That they're 3-8 in the last 11, and a lot of those pitchers have struggled, or that they put Kyle Finnegan on the injured list with the adductor strain?
Yeah, that Finnegan. I mean, what a pickup. And I mean, he was just getting the job done. Connor just talked about Rob Thompson and the Phillies outfield and how he's mixed and matching all that stuff. Well, they've got to actually go out and execute. And Finnegan lights out, whether getting the final 3 outs or working the 8th inning for AJ Hinch and the Tigers. I don't know what the timetable is on him. I hope he's available to them. Overall with the pitching, it's been Skubal, and then Casey Mize, we love to sing his praises. He's got the win-loss, he's got plenty of wins on his resume this year, but just everyone behind Skubal right now has been not even average of late. And Flaherty did not make it out of the 5th inning, I believe, on Friday night. So there's another guy continuing to tax a bullpen. You've got to be able to get innings out of these guys, even with 3+ weeks left in the regular season. You can't have them going less than 5.
Yeah, Flaherty was 4 1/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Talking about a guy that did make it out of the 5th, Brewers at Pirates. The Brewers kick off this road trip. They beat the Pirates 5-2. It was really Quinn Priester, 7 innings, 2 runs on 6 hits. We've got Chuck Freeman from Locked On Brewers.
How about that Quinn Priester? not only was he not with the Brewers to start the season, he wasn't even in the major leagues. He was in the Red Sox farm system. And tonight he set a Brewers record. Hey, everybody, Chuck Freeman, instant reaction, Locked On Brewers. An 11th straight win for Priester sets a Brewer record. Unbelievable. Yeah, maybe a little shaky, a little traffic early on, and it was a 2-1 Pirates lead in the 4th inning before the final 17 Pirates got set down, and he had a little help from the bullpen. 7 strong for Priester. 2-run single from Jake Bowers in the 6th put the Brewers out on top, and they bounced back after a tough Thursday loss. Can't keep these guys down very long. They just keep bouncing back. Brewers get the win, and a terrific job. Congratulations out to Quinn Priester with that new Brewers record of 11 straight wins. They don't lose when he's on the mound. They don't lose when anybody's on the mound, really. Talk to you on Sunday night with the next edition of Locked On Brewers.
Quinn Priester's 12-2 as a starting pitcher this year. Just an absurd record.
Yeah, and Chuck was nice enough to mention it to Red Sox fans. He was pitching to AAA. A move for the future. There's no such thing as pitching depth, but hey, we'll move them. And boy, they've had their share of injuries. He could have been a shot in the arm at any point in the season for the Red Sox. But good for him. Now this third big league organization, getting the opportunity, making the most of it.
I'm going to seize your opportunity when you mentioned injuries there. The Dodgers in Baltimore to take on the Orioles in Camden Yards. They scratched Tyler Glasnow like an hour before game time. Ohtani gets the start, but the Orioles walk it off 2-1. Neither pitcher went really deep. Ohtani's 3 2/3, no runs on 3 hits, was pumping a bunch of 100-mile-an-hour like in this game. Dean Kramer, 3 innings, no hits, no runs, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk, and they pull him after 3. But It was 0 for 11 combined for both teams with runners in scoring position. The only the big hit was rookie Samuel Basallo, the catcher for the Orioles, with the walk-off homer in the bottom of the 9th. Outside of that, just kind of a quiet game here for everybody. All right, in just a second, we're going to talk about some of the second-place teams and how they did. The Cubs, the Mets, the Guardians, especially because the Cubs had the benefit of the wind in Wrigley Field. We'll do that next, right here on MLB Game Night. This episode is brought to you by Zippix Toothpicks. Whether you're looking for nicotine satisfaction or an energy boost, Zippix has you covered with their nicotine or caffeine-infused toothpicks. For nicotine users, Zippix provides a discreet way to satisfy your cravings, and that hand-to-mouth habit without smoking can also be a helpful tool as you work to reduce your dependence on vaping. It's available in 6 great flavors with 2 milligrams and 3 milligram nicotine options. And if you need energy without the crash, their caffeine toothpicks are a game changer. I'm personally somebody, if I'm making a long drive, I enjoy the caffeine toothpicks. It gives me energy without the jitters, 1, but 2, without having to stop for frequent pit stops, like if you were just pounding coffees the whole time. They have a lot of different options: bourbon flavor, peppermint, watermelon, cinnamon, spearmint, just a lot of great flavors that taste, that taste good. Go to zippixtoothpicks.com, Zippix toothpicks.com. Use code Locked On for 10% off your first order. Must be 21 or older to order, and a warning: nicotine is an addictive chemical. But that's zippixtoothpicks.com, promo code Locked On. Zip more, smoke less with. Welcome back to MLB Game Night. Nationals in Wrigley Field to take on the Cubs. And Jake Irvin did not have a good day because of the wind. Here's another frequent flyer, Sam Olber from Locked On Cubs, all about the unusual conditions in Wrigley Field today.
Finally, the wind was howling out at Wrigley Field Friday afternoon, and the Cubs took full advantage. I'm Sam Olber from the Locked On Cubs podcast. Cubs beat the Nationals 11-5 at Wrigley. They hit 4 home runs with that Wrigley wind. It was Nico Horner, I believe, his first home run at Wrigley Field. Dansby Swanson, Reese McGuire, and Ian Happ. Javier Assad held serve. He pitched better than his line would suggest. 2 of those runs were inherited runs that came in. But I want to focus on Ian Happ and Dansby Swanson, 2 guys that I've been critical of, as we've had the show. And they've really gotten going lately. I think Dansby's had a pretty good season. He hit his 22nd homer today. Both guys have really been hurt by a lot of bad luck this year. Happ hit his 20th. I think Swanson's actually been pretty solid for a while now. He's just struggled with runners in scoring position. Ian Happ's been much more inconsistent, but he's red hot right now, and his numbers are, to his credit, getting where they usually are at the end of the year. So credit to those two veterans, two of the leaders on this team. If those guys can continue to perform, the Cubs will be a tough out.
He's not wrong, but I do want to focus on one other thing, and it's Pete Crow Armstrong. They gave him 2 days off. He then had the off day. Back in the lineup today, sac fly in the first inning, 2 over 100-mile-an-hour singles. He steals a base, and then another sac fly. How big is it that if they can get PCA back to his first half numbers before the postseason gets here?
Huge. And I wouldn't even mind if it didn't start for another week and then carried over the final 2 weeks of the regular season. And then for the Cubs, what Sam wants is a deep October run. And if they're going to do that, hey, I love that fact that he acknowledged the veterans, Happ and Dansby Swanson. Absolutely going to need those guys. But if you're going to go into the National League Championship Series and beyond, you need Pete Crow Armstrong. When was the last time we talked about Seiya Suzuki as well? I mean, you need these guys' bats to really pick up. And again, this is a lineup. I thought about this the other day of very similar, feast or famine, just like the Red Sox. You've got young hitters. You've got the veterans. You need the veterans to step up right now that we're into September.
Talking about a team that is asking the veterans are not stepping up. It's the young kids doing this. Mets at Reds. Mets score 3 in the first. They hold on for a 5-4 win. Edwin Diaz made this super interesting, but they end up taking this one. Here's Chris Schubert from the Locked On Mets postcast all about the win.
That the full Edwin Diaz experience. We got to take a breath. We got to relax. Edwin Diaz comes in, holding on to a 1-run lead, and boy, does he make it interesting. The story of this game, a so-so start for David Peterson. Was hoping, despite it being a tough environment playing in Cincinnati, that this would be the bounce back to make us think that he could be a reliable starter for this team come the postseason. Yet, I don't feel any different. Still feels like McLean, still feels like Tong, perhaps even Brendan Sproat will get picked above David Peterson by the time we get to the playoffs. He just needs to be better. I know the box score will say that he was better than that last start, but just not good enough for what this team is going to need in the postseason. Offense, great start. 3 runs in the first. Should have been 5. Great defensive play. Rob Brendan Nimmo of a home run. Couldn't finish the job, though. Couldn't get those insurance runs late to make sure that it wasn't just a 1-run game. So just something to monitor here moving forward. And then the magic trick from Edwin Diaz. It's stressful. It's nerve-wracking. It makes your palms sweaty while you're watching. But at the end of the day, the Mets got the dub over the Cincinnati Reds, and they are firmly holding on to that last wild card spot.
Yeah, Edwin Diaz, single and 2 walks, so loads the bases, and then he gets a strikeout of Noe Marte, a strikeout of Ellie De La Cruz, who has not homered since the end of July, and then a ground out by Gavin Lux. Really just kind of feels like eventually this is going to turn. Like, you can't keep doing this. I do want to ask you, though, what's more concerning? That Edwin Diaz keeps doing things like this, or that they had to option Kodai Senga down to AAA Syracuse to try and get right?
I don't know if you can parallel it to sitting Pete Crow Armstrong for a couple of days, but kudos to Kodai Senga. He had the option to stay.
Yeah.
It's in his contract, but he's, go down, less stress, figure this out. Again, broken record on my part. I'm guilty. But again, if the Mets are going to do anything in October, they're going to need Kodai Senga to be a 5-inning starter for them. I don't think he's a bullpen guy, but he needs to figure this out. I mean, at one point they thought he was the ace. Injuries last year, injuries this year, inconsistency this year. Again, a guy they need to rely on. So if he can go down, make 2 or 3 starts, figure something out, tip in or whatever, or however he needs to do it, he needs to get on track. He's got some time to do it, but time's running out.
Yeah, it does take a lot to agree to go down like that, especially when you can block it like he can. All right, Guardians in Tampa Bay to take on the Rays, that tiny little minor league ballpark. Guardians in that Rays win streak, 7-1 victory. They had 5 runs in the second inning. Sorry. Here's Justin Latta from Locked On Guardians about how they got this one to the finish line.
Guardians got everyone in on the act in their 7-win over the Rays, and some positive momentum any way you look at it. Justin Latt here from Locked On Guardians. Good to see Jose Ramirez be back to Jose Ramirez, having 3 hits. And hey, even Austin Hedges hit a home run. Nolan Jones had 2 hits. George Valera had his first career RBI in a pinch hit role. They started John Kenzanoel at first base. They tattooed the Rays bulk innings guy, Ian Seymour, for a bunch of runs. And Gavin Williams, not his best swing and miss stuff, not his best command and control, but he got into the 7th inning. So a lot of positive momentum for the Guardians in this one. And hey, if you're still scoreboard watching, the Mariners lost. The Rangers are currently tied as I record this. The Royals did win, so there are still some things happening. Now, of course, the Guardians couldn't get out of this game without another Junior Caminero home run. Of course, why not? Saturday should be interesting. It's going to be Tanner Bybee and Shane Baz. Bybee is trying to turn his season around. He and Baz have some of the most home runs allowed in baseball this year, and they're playing at a ballpark that is allowing a lot of home runs this year. So Saturday will be interesting for the Guardians, keeping their playoff hopes alive, and Tanner Bybee getting things turned around. We'll cover it all on Monday on Locked On Guardians. Be there.
I can't remember another young player like Junior Caminero who had like a month and a half adjustment period and then hit 41 homers with 103 RBI in his very next season. And he's also gotten significantly better defensively at third base too.
Top 5 MVP voting.
It's kind of hard. I mean, it's kind of hard to argue otherwise. I think
his top 5 now is a thing. I mean, you really look at it. I mean, that bodes well for him in the future to be, main consideration for, 1 or 2 in the future as well.
Really feels like he could eventually be a guy. He's third in the American League in homers.
Yeah.
He's also hitting like 263. I mean, which is not
get more
amazing.
bats around him. Those numbers can improve.
Exactly.
And they're good. They're good already.
Yeah. Golly. All right. I'll take Padres. No, I'll let you take Padres-Rockies so I can take Mariners-Braves. Let's do that.
Hey, how about Kyle Freeland? 8 scoreless innings, gives up just 2 base hits. Padres blind 3-0. Rafael Devers not in the lineup, so Freeland, kept his composure and all of that. Hunter Goodman just a triple shy of the cycle. San Diego's Nick Pivetta, 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs. You'll take that every time out, but the Padres offense needs to get going. Just 3 base hits, and they were 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. Limited opportunities with runners at second and third.
Yeah, just really didn't help there. Braves hosting the Mariners. You heard Justin mention it. They won 4-1. Chris Sale looked like Cy Sale again. 6 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run. The runner was at first when he left the game and scored 2 outs in the 7th inning. 2 consecutive singles by the reliever behind him let the run score. No walks, 9 strikeouts. And then Atlanta turned around in the 8th inning. 4 consecutive hits to open the inning, including an Ozzie Albies RBI triple to get the 4-1 lead. They really struggled with the Logan Gilbert splitter. They just really had a lot of trouble getting a bat on that. But once he was out of the game, they obviously took care of that. Saturday, it's going to be Hurston Waldrop. Really interesting. Atlanta's expected a lot from him. He had an ERA just over 1 in the month of August. All right, in just a second, Astros-Rangers, they went 12 innings. We'll talk about that next right here on MLB Game Night. It's time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. This grape, ginger, and lime-flavored shot brings the iconic taste of a golf course favorite with a non-alcoholic boost. It's perfect for sinking birdies or making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Whether you're out on the course or just need that little extra push to power through your day, 5-Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavor you love without ever needing to leave the green. Because golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape, ginger, lime flavor of 5-Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without leaving the course or chasing down the beverage cart. And now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament that's not the Masters in the United States. So tee up that trip. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament. Ends October 31st, 2025. Okay, so Astros at Rangers, 12 innings. Rangers walk it off in the 12th, 4-3, thanks to a double from Dustin Harris. Here is Brett, H-Town Wheelhouse, as he's known, from Locked On Astros, all about what happened in this one.
An absolutely disappointing loss in Arlington. Hello, I'm H-Town Wheelhouse here with Locked on Astros, and that was a loss. That should not happen. I know this season we have seen this offense struggle, but the Rangers put forth a AAA lineup, 5 of their 9 starters on the IL. Garcia gone for the season. They pretty much shut down Nathan Eovaldi. Merrill Kelly comes in, a trade deadline acquisition pitcher, comes in and pitches and does pretty well. Now the Astros only gave up 3 runs, but they tied it up. They go into extras, and what do? They swing at every first pitch that they see. And the last guy on the mound, Lance McCullers Jr., who in my opinion had no business being in that spot. But I guess who else were they going to go to? Chas McCormick, who has thrown 2 scoreless innings, is back in AAA. Well, the Astros are making it tough. The season and the last 19 games are going to be long. Hang in there, Astros fans. We're there with you. Astros drop the first one on Arlington. Tomorrow night, they face Jacob deGrom.
They used 5 relievers in this one before they got to McCullers. I don't really know what other options they had here. But what's more surprising, that McCullers went into the 12th, did not record an out and took the loss, or that Texas pinch hit for their designated hitter 3 times in this game?
Do not see that quite all that often, do you? Bruce Bochy pulling out all the moves. And, you know, as Brett said there, H-Town Wheelhouse, you know, this is a Rangers team that, you know, next man up mentality. They've got it because they've dealt with the injuries too. And, you know, they've got a chance to go up 2-0 in the series, as he mentioned right there. Jacob deGrom is your game 2 starter for the Rangers. It's going to have to be the pitching for Texas.
Yeah.
And they're going to, you know, just like this one, they're going to have to win, you know, 4-3, present day baseball. That's low scoring.
It really is. Talking about low scoring, Twins in Kansas City take on the Royals. Royals win this one 2-1. All the runs come via a Michael Garcia 2-run homer in the 3rd. This is Michael Wacha. He's now 9-11. He got the win. 5 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run, 5 strikeouts. The only Twins run, talk about next man up, Johnny Pareda had an RBI single in the 5th. The thing here, 9 of the 11 games these 2 teams have played have been decided by 2 runs or less. Like, somebody just have a blowout somewhere.
Yeah, give the pitchers a little breathing room somehow, some way. I don't know what to make of the Royals right now. I think you posed it last week of, you know, is this the team? I forget who you put the Royals up against somebody, and I took the other team. But geez, somebody here might go 10-2 in the next 12. I don't know who it is. But right now, it just seems like a couple of wins, couple of losses from contenders for wild card or divisions right now. Nobody's, you know, the Blue Jays, the Brewers have won. Chuck has told us that on a nightly basis, Lindsay. But are one of these teams going to go on a 10-2 run here in the next 14 days?
I just really worry about Kansas City's offense. I feel like they don't have they have a couple guys.
But they know what they are, right?
Yeah.
You know, hey, we'll squeak out just enough. Even against the Twins, we'll squeak out just enough. We'll get a win. We're 3 over 500.
The Tigers did it last year. I guess the Royals could do it. Okay, Giants at Cardinals. Giants blew them out. 8-2, 18 hits in this one. 18 hits, 5 extra base hits here. 3 doubles, a Young Hooley triple. Willie Adames homered, Raffy homered. Carson Seymour gave them 5 innings of 1-run ball, which, to your point, is a really good outing in this era. Michael McGreevy for St. Louis was a little bit worse there. 4 innings, 6 runs, 3 strikeouts to 1 walk. St. Louis only had 5 hits. They picked up 1 of their 2 runs on an Ivan Herrera solo shot in the 8th when it was already an 8-run deficit. But what I want to get to, we have plenty of time now. I want to get to your Boston Red Sox in Arizona to take on the Diamondbacks, because I watched your postcast. You were not really happy with the way that this game went. It was a 10-5 victory for Arizona, and it was close for a while. They just kind of ran away with it.
Well, it was 6-1, and the Red Sox had 11 hitters retired in a row. by Eduardo Rodriguez, former Red Sox pitcher, and then Thompson out of the bullpen. Then in the 8th inning, they make it a 1-run game. Bregman had a 2-run double. Rob Refsnyder had a RBI double to get him within a run, but couldn't get any closer, couldn't tie it or go ahead. But then Justin Slayton gave up 4 runs in the bottom half of the 8th inning. So down 6-5, one more shot at it in the top of the 9th inning. Instead, Slayton gives up the 4 runs, 10-5 the final. Red Sox end up going 1-2-3 in that top of the 9th inning. And Slayton's one of those guys, all of a sudden you're down 6-1. Chris Murphy, who just came back up with Jordan Hicks going on the IL, he ended up going 3 innings, giving up just 1 run. But it was a run where, he just was walking the ballpark. He was behind in every count. Tolley only went 3 in the start. We touched on Schlittler earlier. Yeah. Yankees relying on a rookie. This is your number 4 and number 5 starter, but Tolley lasted just 3 innings. And Murphy ended up doing a nice job working 3 innings of 1-run baseball. But then Slayton, in a 1-run game, they got back into it. And then he gives up that 4-run bottom of the 8th inning. I checked out, and I wanted to check out. And then all of a sudden, hey, they're right there. They're knocking on the door. But again, the Diamondbacks are another one of those teams, probably not catching the Mets for that number 3 wild card. But they've won, entering this series, they'd won 4 of their previous 5 series and split the other. So no losses in series their last 5. They're not going away. We've talked about some of these teams, and the Diamondbacks are one of those. We're just going to try to beat you any way we can, and they did it with the Bats on Friday night.
There you go. Final game, Athletics in LA to take on the Angels. A's win this one 10-4. Jose Soriano got blasted for the Angels. 2 1/3, 6 hits, 8 runs, 5 walks to 4 strikeouts. Right. Gave up a couple, gave up a home run to JJ Bleday. Just got singled to death. 5 of those hits were singles, but the 5 walks definitely doesn't help because they just cash in a lot of opportunities. So just fantastic offense there, taking advantage of what they were given by the Sacramento A's. This has been MLB Game Night for Friday, September 5th. Do us a favor. If you're listening on audio, leave a 5-star review. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, because me and Steve will be back tomorrow to do this exact same thing tomorrow, because MLB Game Night is every single game, every single night.